On Capitol Hill, the debate is underway on the climate energy bill. It barely passed the key procedural vote this morning. 30 Democrats defected in that. Let's talk about the issue itself and where it goes from Hill. Joining us from Capitol Hill, we have Chris Van Hollen, who chairs the Democratic Congressional Campaign Committee, and we have Republican Deputy Whip Marsha Blackburn as well. Thank you, folks, for joining us and stepping out of the debate there right now. Let me ask a quick procedural question here. Congressman Van Hollen, I mean, I know you had a cushion to work with on this, but the 30 Democrats who have defected so far, you think this is going to pass today?
I do think it's going to pass. Momentum has been building day by day. There are more votes for it today than they were yesterday. And as more people understand what's in the bill, the more support it has. And President Obama is very engaged. As he said, we can no longer sweep these big, important national issues under the rug. We've got to deal with them. The time for action is now.
And Representative Blackburn, you agree with that? You don't want this bill to pass, but you think the Democrats are going to get it their way?
I think that what they're running into are roadblocks from their own members. The more people know about this bill, the less they like it. Our office has been flooded with calls from people who are very much opposed to this. You know, we're all for clean air, clean water, clean energy. We are not for taxing people out of their house and home in order to have that. And that is exactly what this bill is going to do. And the more people find out, the less they like it.
You know, Congressman Van Hollen, it strikes me that as the debate beyond the parameters of Congress continues centered around this bill, they get away from the issue of energy and clean air and all of that. The president even makes the point that it will create jobs. The Republicans point out this is a tax issue. Nobody's talking about energy when it comes to this bill. Why is that?
Well, the president has been talking about energy. He's been talking about the new jobs that will be created in the clean energy sector.
But there you are again.
That's the point.
No, but that is the point, because right now we spend hundreds of billions of dollars a year that we Americans export to the Persian Gulf to buy oil and gas. And we should be investing those monies right here at home in clean energy, bring down the cost of energy to consumers, put Americans to work in the clean energy technology sector so we're not being beaten by the Chinese and our competitors, and make better and bring down costs for consumers. And at the same time improve our national security by reducing our reliance.
Blackburn, we see you chuckling.
A couple of points on that, yes. You know, first of all, we're for all of the above. We know that it is going to take alternative fuels, but it also is going to take fossil fuels. We need to be opening up areas and accessing our fossil fuels, our natural gas, looking at natural gas for transportation, looking at clean coal technologies. Do you know this bill that they are passing does not even have a nuclear title in it for new nuclear, for electric power generation? And the bill that they took, the manager's amendment they took last night, this is a good idea of things that are in it. If you have leases, the Secretary of Housing can actually void any contracts if you have an easement against any of these alternative fuels.
Representative Van Hollen,
very quickly.
It's going to sound procedural, but it actually speaks to the substance of Congress. You know, the justification for the middle-class tax cut was that energy prices were going to go up because of this cap-and-trade bill, because companies were going to have to pay for all these little chips that were going to be auctioned off, supposedly. But now, Representative Waxman's given away 3/4 of them for free. What is this? How do you answer critics who say the process exemplifies Congress's inability to make the hard choices when it comes to cost, regardless of who's in the White House?
The middle-class tax cut was something the president talked about completely independently to try and get the economy.
I disagree with you completely on that.
To move the economy, forward. Let me just say, there's plenty in here for nuclear. There's a creation of what's called, yes, there is, a clean energy deployment authority that allows low-interest loans to go to the nuclear power sector. It's interesting to hear what Marsha and the Republicans are against now. They had 8 years with President Bush in the White House to do all of the above, to do all these things.
We hear you on that. I agree there, too.
Do it. No, they're just no.
Quick point on these allowances and offsets and FERC and what you're talking about. FERC will have the ability to give out these allowances and offsets. I ran an amendment in Rules Committee that would have required a searchable online database for both the public sector and the private sector to see who buys, who gets these allowances and offsets, and who's trading them, and who's making money, and the Rules Committee would not allow it. So all of these transactions are going to be done in the dark of night, and nobody's going to know about it, just like this bill
Obviously,
being filed last night in the
the rhetoric is very high on this one.
I hope more people find out about it.
Thank you both for joining us today. Well, let's get back to the debate on the floor there. Congressman Van Hollen and Blackburn as well. Joe?
For the record, I supported the tax cut.